Hey there gamers, DreamcastGuy here, and today we're talking about the new PlayStation 5 update, because it actually fixes the final problem we've had with the PlayStation 5. Now, in general, I like the PS5 controller a lot. The DualSense, it's undeniably fantastic. I think it's got good triggers, the haptic feedback, the vibration, it's good. But there has been a small problem with this that it's been strange they haven't solved it, which is that when you sync this to something, you get stuck. You can only pair it to one device at a time. But I feel like that's always been a strange decision because they basically bill it. They sort of advertise the fact that they want this to be your universal controller, right? And that's why, if you've been watching the videos for a bit, you may remember this controller. I used to put this in videos all the time because I'm a big Spider-Man fan. It's the Venom limited edition controller. But you stopped seeing it because I started keeping it in the other room. Since I could only sync each controller to one system, I'd sync my other controllers to the PS5 in here, but the other ones I would actually sync with an 8-bit DOE, a little adapter, that way I could play it with my PlayStation Classic. I wanted to be able to play PlayStation controller with my PlayStation Classic wirelessly across the room. Well, the new update today makes it so you can finally pair stuff with multiple devices, meaning I could have one controller that syncs up to my phone, to my PC, to my PlayStation 5. But let's take a look at it because this update, I think there's something extra to it. Hi, hope you're having a great day. I just woke up and not fully caffeinated yet, but I'm about to see Superman today, so I'm super excited. But hi, hope you're having a great day. If you could please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. A new PS5 update is rolling out today in beta for the DualSense wireless controller, allowing pairing of multiple devices. Now, I have to admit that this is one of those times where late into the generation, console updates start to become more interesting to me because typically they're just anti-hacking measures. Usually 4, 5, 6 years into a console generation, the only real system updates they're doing is, hey, we're trying to roll out some new syncing thing, or hey, we're trying to stop because hackers figured out how to get games for free, right? Look at the replies though. Huge convenience update. We have needed this for a long time. Oh, some people are saying, I wonder if this new lower power consumption mode, which is the other part of this update we're going to talk about, is something for the rumored handheld. There's been a lot of leaks about the fact that the PlayStation Portal was a tiny taste test, that essentially there are a bunch of technicians and architects and engineers over at PlayStation right now that are trying to make something that's basically a portable PlayStation 4, something that does have a lot of juice and power, but they want to make it power efficient, that essentially in order to make something that good, it's going to sap the battery in like 90 minutes max. But it sounds like they're experimenting to make games look good for the lowest power use possible, which could extend the hypothetical battery life of this hypothetical handheld. I do love all these replies though. Here's one I did see though. Make it so PS4 controllers could be used for PS5 games. Can I be honest? This is one of those things I wish they would do. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't even know what the hell my PlayStation 4 controllers are at this point, but I still feel like, in a way, I kind of like the PlayStation 4 controller more than the PlayStation 5 controller. Something about the battery life felt a little bit better. It was a little tiny bit tinier and lighter in my hands, just personal taste, but let me take a look at the update itself. So this is the PlayStation blog. Now, the way this usually works is that these betas are usually right before the full rollout. Essentially, anybody that's opted into the PlayStation beta program, you get to test the updates a couple months before they're officially released. It's sort of their way of basically making sure it's not going to crash consoles when it gets mass launched. But they actually explain the update and how it's going to work. But real quick, I do want to say this. It does seem like this power save mode, something about this seems like it is more than it appears on the surface, because there's been this big talk about how basically Sony's trying to make their systems as efficient as possible, which to me, they've already had pretty low power use systems just in general. I do think that this is them sort of telegraphing that they're trying to find some way to make stuff more mobile, more low cost. That way this eventual PlayStation handheld is better than the competition. I actually like my Steam Deck a lot. I'm curious about the Xbox handheld, but let's face it, the Steam Deck does not have the best battery life, and because it is just basically a micro PC, and the next Lenovo Duo, what is it, the ROG Ally X, that thing's going to have a terrible battery life. But let's actually take a look at this here. How to pair your multiple devices. So this is so cool. Until now, pairing a device was connected to a singular DualSense or DualSense Edge. It was just one device. You could pair it to your PC, your Mac, or mobile devices. With this update, you can now register up to 4 devices simultaneously and easily switch between them directly from your controller. Okay, that is a smart update. For example, you can take your controller, which you use with your PS5, and then seamlessly switch it to a PC to play PC games or to your smartphone to play games with remote play. With this enhanced flexibility, you can enjoy gaming more freely across multiple devices. Now, a lot of the replies there in that tweet section were talking about the fact that it definitely seems like Sony's making the smart move, which is that they want you to just be holding the PlayStation 5 controller. They don't care if you're playing a PC game with it. They don't care if you're playing, a PS5 game that's ported to Steam. Hey, as long as you're playing Spider-Man and you're playing it with a Spider-Man controller, they're happy. They don't care. They're getting their $80 worth out of you, right? By pressing a combination of the PlayStation button and one of the directions, meaning like triangle, circle, square, X, you can assign the button to your desired slot. If a USB cable is connected to the controller, disconnect it before pairing. So it's a typical thing here. How to switch devices. Man, this is so interesting. You're going to turn on the device you want to connect to, press and hold the action button and the PlayStation button for 3 seconds. When the light bar and player indicator blink, release both buttons. Turn the light bars back up, player indicators blink according to the slot number. This, to me, this is such a great change, and I am going to be using this quite a bit. Now, I think that a lot of the PlayStation updates, sometimes they've been slow to kind of roll out very necessary updates. Like I talked about the Discord update when they finally made it possible to use Discord on the PlayStation. But even then, sometimes they'll do a half measure. Like the weird thing about the Discord update is that you have to still have your phone, you still have a device, and you send it to that. You basically open up a chat on your phone and then send it to your PlayStation. Sometimes PlayStation still does stuff in some funky ways. But in this case, it feels like it's truly not a half measure. This is the entirety of what I would want. I do like the idea that now I can have a universal PlayStation controller. I wonder if I can sync it. I guess I can. I could sync it to multiple PlayStations. My girlfriend's got my old PS5. And she has. I gave her the PS5 and 25 games for free. When I gave it to her, though, there was the thing is that she bought some controllers on her own for her and her kids to play. I do like the idea that now I could bring my controller over to her house when I'm playing games with all the family. And I do like I don't have to use her controllers that are probably covered in peanut butter and jelly and stuff. How do you feel about this update? Does it feel as substantial to you as it does to me? Because honestly, it does feel pretty cool. This is a very necessary update that I'm glad it finally rolled out. But tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and please keep dreaming. All right, now I get to actually have my delicious morning Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper Zero, because I'm trying to lose weight. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.